Great representatives for the sport of boxing.
Good right hand from Viloria right there. Solis smiles, so it hurt him quickly. And then another right hand staggered Solis. Viloria going in quickly.
So, magandang araw po. Balikan po natin ang laban sa pagitan ni na Ulises Solis at Brian Viloria. Si Brian Viloria po ay isa po sa ating kababayan na maituturing na Hall of Famer dito sa ating bansang Pilipinas. So, siya po ay tinatawag na the Hawaiian Punch dahil siya po ay taga Hawaii. So, pero Pilipino po siya. So, balikan po natin ang kanyang magandang laban. Ito nga ay duelo sa pagitan ni na Ulises Solis at Brian Viloria. Itong laban na ito ni Brian Viloria na sa aking pagkakatanda ay excited ang ating mga kababayang Pilipino, lalo na sa mga boxing fanatic. Sino ba naman ang hindi kakabahan sa labang ito dahil ang kalaban niya ay isang kilabot sa Mexico. Dahil si Ulises Solis ay maramihan kung bumitaw ng suntok, kaya maraming nag-aalala kung kakayanin ba ni Brian Viloria ang hagupit ng mga kamao ni Ulises Solis.
Champion of the world, introducing the Hawaiian Punch, Brian Viloria. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing a green trunks with red and white trim. He weighed in at a ready 107 pounds. His fine record stands at 28 wins, only one defeat.
Instructions in the dressing room, touch gloves. Mouthpiece. Bruce McTavish, our Kiwi referee, well known in this part of the world, and a great referee. This should be interesting, Alex. This should be really interesting because there's so much at stake. Solis talking about getting his recognition one fight at a time, trying to get that fight against Devon Calderon if he can. And here's a young man, the can't-miss young man, Brian Viloria, who decided to change everything last year.
Nagkasukatan ng dalawa dito sa round 1 at nagpatikiman ng malalakas na suntok, matutulis na jab at mga left hooks at right hooks. Maipapakita kaya ni Brian Viloria ang lakas ng kanyang kamao sa kilabot ng Mexico.
From the beginning, the danger for Viloria, one of the big dangerous punches that he will face is the uppercut of Solis. Solis has not only a good jab, which you just saw, but a great uppercut, and Viloria has to be very careful bending in not to get hit with that punch.
A very quick jab from Solis right there. Two nicer guys you won't find outside of the ring. Consummate professionals, very cooperative when you talk to them.
In this fight and our main event, both great representatives for the sport of boxing.
Good right hand from Viloria right there. Solis smiles, so it hurt him quickly. And then another right hand staggered Solis. Viloria going in quickly.
He is not known as a great right-handed puncher, Viloria, but the left hook is his main weapon. But boy, the right is working tonight.
Got it caught. Well, Solis sleeping a little bit there early, but Viloria comes out and he really means business. So Solis has just gotten a wake-up call from the challenger.
Well, don't look ahead to an Ivan Calderon fight quite yet if you're Solis, and he's got nailed with a big left hook.
Right-left combination against straight in Viloria. I don't think he's intimidated. I would say that is for the least.
Well, Viloria's plan was to be aggressive in round 1, and we've certainly seen that. And Solis has had a hard time counterpunching. I think he thought he would be able to counterpunch Viloria when he came in, and that hasn't worked out yet.
Another blistering first round here in these light weight classes that we have here in the Philippines. Left hook once again, and that's the punch you're talking about, Al.
And, you know, as good as the right hand has been, if Viloria can continue to land that left hook, this would be a very difficult fight for Solis. See the Solis jab. That's one of his best punches, but it hasn't been enough here in round 1 to deter Viloria.
And you see Solis becoming more and more aware of that left hook, keeping that right hand up the side of his head. So he's in defensive mode here.
A moment ago, you saw the uppercut by Solis. It just missed as Viloria kind of ducked his head in, but that's still a punch to watch for from Solis.
Good combination there from the champ. Wow, that was a fun first round, and guess what?
Well, this was how Brian Viloria dreamt about this first round going when he laid his head down in training camp to go to sleep. He was very effective. There's the right hand early in the round that created problems for Solis. And there were hooks, there was everything working for him. Viloria not known as...
Going to round 2 here. Glad you're with us on a Sunday morning. We've been talking to some of the fighters about preparing for Sunday morning. I talked to Brian right before he came in the building. He said he's been sparring at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning to get used to this. And as he comes right back out doing what he did the first round, trying to really load up, just missed with an uppercut. Viloria's doing a good job going in and out now. Talking about his foot movement as he's boring in on Solis on the ropes now. Good shot to the body. Viloria just letting it all hang out, but not that much effective right there.
He took monstrous risks the way he was throwing those punches, and Solis was trying to counter him, but Brian Viloria, if you'd have told me that the Brian Viloria right hand was going to be the early most important story in this fight, I would say you were wrong, but it has been.
Well, the right hand landed as you said that, Al. Solis trying to dig into the body a little bit, but the quickness of Viloria has been impressive. He talked about having better head movement, giving lateral movement and angles to confuse Solis.
This is a great fight early by two skilled fighters who are both doing what Viloria, of course, is controlling the action, but you can tell that Ulises Solis, despite the issues he's had in round 2, has never lost his poise or composure and has continued to look for offensive opportunities.
And as you mentioned, that flurry on the ropes really exposed Viloria, but Solis was patient, got out of it, no damage.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking for a big counterpunch because Brian was really threw caution to the wind there, although he clearly had Solis in a little bit of trouble on the ropes. Both men now using their jab very effectively early on.
With the pace that Viloria set, I don't think they care about the jab.
Well, it's
but Solis is being more technical, I would say.
Yeah, he is, but, you know, Viloria helps set things up when he uses that jab. And so it's a good weapon for him, and that's what sets up the right hand for him. Solis has done great body work here in this round. In what obviously has been a more competitive round. The Viloria right hand after applying jab, very, very effective.
Of course, you will hear the crowd react to everything that Viloria does, whether it's effective or not. And here they go with the chants.
Chanting Viloria's name. There's been so much.
Well, that's a good combination.
Great
for the champion.
Great combination by him. You know, there's been so much publicity here in the Philippines about Viloria and Donaire coming back to their roots as youngsters. So this crowd very into that. Wow, there's that right again by Viloria. Right at the end of the round.
Right at the end of the round. A more competitive round for Solis.
They tell him to keep moving side to side. They want a little more movement from Ulises Solis.
All right, round 3. Great action the first 2 rounds, and you know this there's no way to tell what could possibly happen in this fight because you got two great fighters.
They're both
they
fighting.
Could turn on a dime.
Absolutely, and they both have had their moments early on. And Viloria ranked number 1 by the WO, 9 by IBF, trying to make his way back, and that one strayed a bit low.
And McTavish was talking about that before the round.
Viloria wants to punch the body. He is a great body puncher. Ironically, Solis has probably done a better job early of going to the body here One of the issues coming into this fight that somebody may have worried about with Viloria is those 5 fights where he's rebuilt himself were against the last 3 of those fighters had a record of 38, 39, and 5 combined. So he hasn't been in against great competition. But that hasn't hurt him in this match. He has jumped right in and really done a great job.
The left hand just really caught Solis' attention, and now he's going backwards.
So at least now with that left, it goes straight a little low for him. But Brian Viloria has used the 1-2 combination.
Oh, it's a low blow right there, and this is what's going to happen. McTavish warned it, and that one was a bolo punch.
What? He's taking a point away from Viloria, and I think there was a mistake there.
No, he knows he's correcting it now. You're right. He had the warning, and he took a point away, I believe, didn't he? So Wilson put that on the scorecard. I was about to say, who's edging out the battle of the quickness is Viloria.
Yeah,
just a little bit quicker on the exchanges and the counter punching.
Both men landed low punches. That's interesting that he chose to take that away from Solis at that moment. So that makes this now potentially a round that Viloria could win by 2 points if he wins the round.
Could be huge. Could be huge on the scorecard.
This is a rocky beginning for Ulises Solis. I think he had visions of outboxing Viloria, having the edge in hand speed, which, as you point out, he hasn't necessarily had. And so he's kind of got to recalibrate what he does in the ring now.
And also, he mentioned and alluded to the fact that he knows coming into a hostile arena that he can't really depend on the judges. He's got to put on a performance, a commanding performance, to hopefully not get his title taken away. That's always in the back of the fighter's mind.
So he's using his jab very effectively. It's a great weapon. But look at the counter right hand by Viloria.
Yeah, a little bit low there for Solis. And now they're head-to-head. Well, that leaves Viloria vulnerable to that uppercut that Bernstein was talking about over here.
And the irony is, who lands the uppercut on the inside? Viloria instead of Solis. So both men doing some uncharacteristic things, but both men fighting very well. But Viloria with the edge. That went below the border. Viloria still trying to get that right hand in. There's the uppercut that was kind of on the belt line, maybe a smidge low for Solis. And wasn't monstrous from referee McTavish.
Usually if it's monstrously low, then they're on their knees for a few minutes.
True, yes.
That's when it's monstrous.
That's when you know that it's really straight south of the border. This fight is one, in which Ulises Solis has found out a couple of things that have not been good for him. He's found out that the hand speed of Viloria is probably a little better than he anticipated. He's also finding out that Viloria's right is better than advertised. And those are things he's got to try and counteract now.
Well, Solis knew he was against a very strong, a very good technical fighter, but I have seen, just through these first rounds, a different Viloria than we saw 2 years ago, for sure. A rededication.
Another hook by Brian Viloria.
Right hand over the top.
He's off to a blazing start, but there have been times in Brian Viloria's career where, and it's happened in a couple of his title matches, where the later rounds are not good for him.
Exactly, that's his problem.
He's got to keep this going throughout.
See a little blood trickling out there. Don't know exactly from where yet. There's Viloria's corner's concerned about headbutt. I've been impressed with Viloria's command of the ring and in and out when he has to, and showing good defense at different angles like he told us he wanted to, but there's that lead left. And Sosa made an interesting point about it. He said, I'll go Mexican if I have to. He's out there trying to be technical, throwing the jabs and this other stuff, but there may come a point where he turns the switch. That's Solis. Excuse me.
Brian Viloria is, of course, from his great amateur career as an Olympian with over 200 amateur fights. He's just a sound fighter, and that's one of the reasons why, after he won his title, originally people thought he was going to hang on to it for a long, long time. It didn't turn out that way. but you can't downgrade his skills. They're excellent. And when he says he rededicated himself for this fight, you can tell he did, because he's very focused and fighting very well. That was a nice counter right by Solis.
Well, Solis has actually stepped up his head movement now. Instead of boring straight ahead, now he's trying to really turn this thing around. In this round, I think Solis has a sense of what's happened in the first 3 rounds. And I see more aggression on his part. But Viloria, that quick right.
We've seen more combination punching from Solis in this round, and that's probably been the difference. It might be a reason why you could give him this round. He did not throw many combinations earlier.
Both exchanging on the inside right there. The lead right from Viloria with a miss. You know, Solis just might figure this thing out, too.
That's why we pointed out that this is early in this fight, and this has certainly been a turnaround round for Ulises Solis, and he's used the jab and the combinations as a means to an end to get there.
Interesting round. Definitely the best Solis.
You gotta stay on him, okay?
Brian Viloria continued to land those very good right hands. That was one of his better moments in round 4. It's controlled, and one of those Filipino fighters, Rodel Mayol, that
quick right.
Oh wow!
Right off the bat, got Solis in trouble. Viloria came out and just banging away with that right hand we were just talking about.
Well, I was going to say Mayol hurt Solis with the left hook a couple of times. That's the punch you think can get to Solis, but instead, right away here in round 1, or this round, Viloria shows that it's the right hand that he's using so effectively.
And he just cut him. Solis is cut as he comes back over the right. Good little uppercut with the left hand from Solis, trying to come back after just being pounced on in seconds with this round. We'll see if Viloria can dig down here in round 5 and continue to put the pressure on. We see the blood. A bad cut. Al, that's a bad cut for Solis. And he's been cut before. We mentioned it. We were talking to him. But not only is he getting beaten, he's getting beaten up now. They're going to take a look at that cut. Just on the outside, you know more about these, Al, about what the position of the cut is. It probably won't hurt his vision.
Well, it's on the eyebrow, which isn't so great, but it is a little bit toward the outside. And they'll hopefully have a chance to get to it. We're early in the round, though, and Viloria could do more damage to that cut.
We got Viloria's corner literally smelling blood over here, and a little fist pump. We look at the champion, Solis, coming back knowing it's time to get down and get some serious business. We'll see how he reacts.
Viloria just landed a very good right hand again, a little short counter right hand. And the Viloria jab has been woken up again by all this.
But it's been the right hand, Al. And Solis has tried to go to the body. There's another combination. Uppercut, straight in. Solis goes back on the ropes and holds on.
It's the Viloria jab that, oh, wow.
Oh,
very
wow.
Good. That'll take a point away.
That's unfortunate.
He can get up to 5 minutes. Now, McTavish has not yet taken a point away. Perhaps he won't this time. That was a big break for Solis because, I guess he didn't get 5 minutes.
No, he didn't take 5 minutes.
Or McTavish didn't ask him if he wanted any more. The interesting thing is that helped Solis because it stopped the action for a while, and he was in some trouble.
And he didn't lose a point.
Yeah, so all in all, that worked out well for him.
20 seconds left in a big round for Viloria.
The overhand right by Viloria, very effective. Solis isn't timid about going to the body. And another low blow. Wow, you've got to take a point away.
You got to take a point here. There he goes.
With all due respect, Solis' punches are straying very low.
I thought that was up high on the hip bone there, but it's still too low. And that's a sign of frustration. There's another one low.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is most guys are a little daunted to go downstairs when they've had points taken away.
It just poured straight in. Quickness. Solis has certainly got his attention with the low blows because he's not backing off one bit.
At dito sa round 10, papasok na ang championship rounds. Kaya yung dalawa, binubuhos na kung ano man ang binabaon nila. Sino nga ba ang mananaig? Ang Hawaiian Punch or ang kilabot ng Mexico?
Take a look at some,
Some work for the gloves.
For the gloves.
You know, among the three, Solis has not lost to a Filipino fighter. We've talked about that. One of the Filipino fighters that he beat and defended his title against was Glenn Donaire, the brother of Nonito Donaire, who, of course, we're going to see very shortly in our main event tonight.
I'm always suspicious of the loose tape. And so at least comes back with a combination of his own. And don't forget, right into that last round, it was almost a knockout. At least almost had him. Blood streaming from the right hand. So at least looking a little frustrated there.
He's amazed, I think. There's almost a shaking of his head like, I can't believe I'm getting hit with all these right hands from this guy, and he is.
There's the left hook from Viloria. Viloria's corner employing him to throw more combinations.
You know, Brian Viloria, you know, we've said it, not to beat a dead horse, but a lot of this has to do with him not having lulls in fights. And you can feel the concentration in his face. You can feel the fact that even when things don't go well for a moment or two, he gets things back, and he's doing that much better now. And Solis has never, ever, ever given up in this fight. He has, you know, even when he's been hurt and hit with big punches, he comes back with good technique and good combinations. So this is not a fight, and believe me, this fight very much in doubt in some ways. Even if Viloria is ahead on the cards, as we suggest, Solis still has many chances to win this fight.
Another right hand. And you got to wonder about the decision. Because he's kind of hard a lion. Now, Viloria going in. The champion's on the ropes. Viloria got to be careful not to leave himself open. He's in with a savvy guy.
And he smothered his punches there, Brian Viloria. He needs to give himself a little more room. Solis definitely rocked. This is Viloria's chance, I think, to end this fight.
If he doesn't, as he didn't throw out too much gas on that combination, like you said, he smothered his own punches. 30 seconds left of round 10, and he's got the champion slowed down.
You got to give Ulises Solis tremendous credit. He has great poise. He's got just toughness in that ring. He's coming back after that, being hurt so badly. He's hanging in there.
Viloria must get out of that corner. Well, Solis trying to do some damage, and he did land a couple of punches there. Viloria's trying to stay out of harm's way here. Now Solis landing big punches into this round. Like you said, all the credit in the world due to the champion.
That's great boxing. That's exciting, and it's well fought. In the last round, Brian Viloria hurt Solis. He had him hurt at this point, but just couldn't. He smothered a lot of his punches and couldn't land as effectively as he wanted there. He had already hurt him at this point. And that was where Solis was able to weather it and come back and land some good punches.
And right into round 11, Viloria walks across the ring and throws a left hook. And we'll see how the champion responds. Anything can happen still. It's been a tremendous show. Big right hand from Viloria.
This junior flyweight division with Calderon, Edgar Sosa, the man who beat Viloria and lost to Solis a couple of times earlier in his career, and it is a very good, solid division, as is the one we're going to see in a little while, the flyweight division in our main event. Number of good fighters.
Absolutely. Reminds me of the days of Chiquinho Gonzalez and Michael Carvajal.
Wow.
Those were great days, and we have a little bit of that now.
Absolutely, and more attention being paid to these lower weight classes. And this is what you get. You know, this is as good a boxing match as you're going to see.
Once again, you're right. And that's what we've been talking about. Coming to this part of the world to see this where these weight classes put on such great shows, and it's a credit to the sport of boxing. And these two fighters certainly are a credit to the sport of boxing and the history of boxing.
I'll tell you, this is, you know, the interesting thing is that Solis again now being warned for a low blow. You know, you find out about champions when they are. Solis is in danger, and he has responded. Even if he loses this fight, which is very possible, he's responded to change.
And his attitude is so tremendous when you talk about the fact that he's beaten Sosa twice and Viloria lost him. He said it makes no difference. It's just people you can't judge on that. It's what happens in the ring, and look what's happening here.
He's absolutely right. Brian Viloria
right here once again. And you know, Solis has to hear the crowd and get somewhat discouraged sometimes. It's just human nature. I tell you why, if it goes the distance and Viloria doesn't get the decision, we might have to go under the table.
That's conceivable.
We might have to get under the desk. That's just a slip, little water, sweat in the middle of the ring.
At tila ba parang buzzer beater ang ginawa ng the Hawaiian Punch.
On a Sunday morning, right hand and down goes the champion. Finally, the right hand puts Solis on the canvas. 6. Watch it, that's it. Brian Viloria has won the world championship.